Hey everybody, tonight we're going to be painting Love Blooms here, which is a beautiful vase of flowers. This is the template tracer. So it's a three-part painting. Most paintings are three parts, and so the first thing we're going to do is trace our canvas. Some people like to freehand, and I think that's beautiful, but some people like the tracer. So I'll show you how to trace this design on the canvas, and then we color block in the foundational colors of the painting, and then the third step is going in and doing all the details. So here we go. Let's see here. You're going to need your tracer. And then you're going to need some carbon paper, also called copy paper. What else do they call it? I don't know. That's about it. But it comes in a really big sheet, and so you cut it up and you can use it forever and ever. I'm painting on an 11 by 14 canvas, and so we've got here our tracer, our carbon copy paper on the canvas, and then we've got our template on top. Got a little wet. It was sitting by my coffee. And then what I like to use, I think it's called a stencil pen. And it's basically, it looks like a little pen, but it just has little metal ball points at the tips. One small, one larger. And I like that because it doesn't leave any ink when you trace. It just pushes down and copies onto the paper. And so just go around. And don't worry, this doesn't have to be perfect either, because we're going to be painting over it. And so no need to worry about perfect lines or whatever. In fact, the paintings are often much better when they're imperfect. So keep that in mind when you're painting. A couple lines here, one there. And then for the flowers, I like to start in the one in the front, and then kind of go in a clockwise fashion so I know where I left off. If you ever forget where you leave off, you just keep one hand on your template so that it doesn't move, and then you take your paper and you just flip it up, and you can see where you've traced and where you've missed, and then you just put it back down. Great little tip there. Got to keep your tracer in the right spot. I've used this tracer a few times, so it is starting to get cuts right where I use this stencil pen. Okay, so we did all the flowers there. I don't think I did this flower here. I did not, so I will go over that right now. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Our leaf, table, and then we'll do our leaves over here. Everybody's got their own style of how they make leaves, the shapes, the size. So you just need to find what you like to do, what looks good to you, and then go for it. That's the beauty about art. It is whatever, you like. Got a leaf in here. These right here. I think I got that one. Let's take a peek. I think in the top left I might be missing something. No, I think I got it all. These. Okay, I'm not going to put the squiggles on the inside because I know it's basically just a couple squiggles here and some squiggles around the end. So I'm pretty much done with my tracer. Put that off to the side. Now, step one. We've got our tracer already ready to go. All right, step two. Let's see here. 1 second. Next, we're going to work with our paints. And so we've got black and white, of course. Always have those handy, right? Black and white. And then we've also got Tonight we're going to be using Royal Fuchsia and Laguna. And for a little, well, that's our final one. We'll be using Dark Hauser Green. I should put it this way, right? Dark Hauser Green. Got an extra one just in case I run out. Hauser Dark Green is what it's called. Some navy blue, just a smidgen. And then some citron green or yellow green, like a limey green. And then last but not least, for a little bit of sheen, it's a metallic paint, Extreme Sheen Deco Art Pink Tourmaline. So we'll use a little bit of that at the end. Okay. So step 2 is color blocking. And for color blocking, what we're going to do is just get the big colors on there. And then the step 3 is all the nice details. And that's where it really comes together. Step 2 is kind of messy and you're probably going to freak out a little bit, but trust the process. It is going to be great when you're done. A lot of people, they don't finish and they get frustrated and they don't finish. But I tell you, if you take it all the way to the end, you're going to be very happy. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is paint our background. And for our background, that's going to be the blue and the white. So we'll start with some of our Laguna and get some white on there. Acrylic paint goes a long way, so a lot of times, you don't need too much. The brush we're going to use for the background is going to be a 1-inch flat, which is, actually this is a 3/4 flat. I'll be using that tonight. You can use a 1-inch, a 1/2 inch, depends really on your canvas too. If you're going to be using a larger canvas, you want a larger background brush. If it's a smaller canvas, you can use a smaller one. So what I'm going to do, and this is a messy process, and I think the hardest part is putting the first paint on the canvas, but once you get that on there, I think it's a lot of fun, and it's easy from that point on. So you're going to take a little scoop on one side of the blue, a little scoop of the white, and we're going to be putting it over here. I like to line my outside, and this is a little time consuming, but definitely worth it. If you're getting this kind of look, a dry brush look, it just means you've got a dry brush. So add some more paint on there. All right. If that paint ain't dripping off your brush, then you're fine. All right. We're going to go just kind of loose over these leaves because, we're going to be painting over them. Again, it does not have to be perfect. That's the beauty of it. The details will cover up your imperfections. A lot of times we take a long time on this part of the painting, and it's really not necessary because there's so much more that we're going to be doing. And I like to go back and I like to paint the outside edges when I'm done. Go around the leaf, go around the flowers. And you can just make like a, if you got too much blue and you want to make it a little lighter, just add some in there. You can do texture, move your brush around how you like. I think it brings more dimension in there when you do that. So whatever feels good. It's called being painterly. And it's where you're just free flowing and, making those moves as you see fit. There we go. Almost done with our background here. And then we're going to go with our table background because what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of navy to this teal, this Laguna, so we can get our next look for the table. There, right here. This is my favorite color. I do love teal. all the teals, the blue greens. Okay, so we got most of that done. Just kind of go over until I get the look I want. Looks good to me. All right, so let's do our bottom now, which we're going to add a little bit of navy blue to the scene here. Go here like that. Add a little navy blue. Don't need much. That's probably more than enough. And we're going to grab a little bit of teal again, grab a little bit of white, and we're going to grab a little bit of navy. Barely got some on there. Let's try that again. There we go. And we are going to go on the bottom. Just line it like this. Line our base. We get to our flower. Line it. Line it. Just like a coloring book really. But I love the feel of the paint. Which, if you're an avid crafter, you've probably played with many different types of crafts, and there's one that's really stuck with you. So hopefully so. Okay, so we've got our background in there. I'm going to lighten it up in a couple places. Just kind of doing some dimensional swoops. Getting some looks in there. Some more white. Just to lighten it up a bit. A lot. And I like that. It's all about what you like, right? This is where it gets creative fun. And maybe put teal in there. Okay, I like it. It looks good. And then maybe we'll dry brush it a little bit later on as well. But that looks good. It's a nice color combo for me. And next what we're going to do is go in and let's do our base flowers. So we're going to rinse off our brush. Now for this one, you're going to want to use a little smaller brush. Let's say a 1/2 inch. I'm going to use a round for this. And I'm going to find a 1/2 inch round. Not a 1/2 inch round, excuse me, a 6, number 6. Yep, this is a 6. Very inexpensive brush, Artist Loft. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our Royal Fuchsia. I love this color. So pretty. And I like to start with a wet brush. I should have done that first. And just dab it off there a little bit. And then we're going to load the brush by getting the paint. You don't want to get the paint all the way up to the barrel, the ferrule. This gold part is the ferrule, and you don't want to get it in there. It looks like it's going to fall apart. You just want to kind of in the tip. You can load it up pretty good though, because we are just going to go another tip. You want to make sure your paint, your blue paint, is dry, because if you get the pink in with the blue, you're going to get purple. Once it's dry, it won't matter. So we're going to start in the middle with our flowers and just do crazy like swirls. You can get creative here, painterly if you like. and get in there and just fill it in. You're just filling it in. You can go back and forth, but the flowers go in, you know, the petals go in a circular motion, so you probably want to do that. Okay, and then we'll do our next one. I think flowers are the most fun to paint. There's so many methods and ways to do the flowers. And remember, this is a process and there will be more to do. This looks pretty dry over here. I'm going to do this one. You've got a leaf here, so remember that. And then a leaf there. Trying to do circular motions when the flowers are cut off is a little more difficult, but still possible. Here, I believe this is dry. Yes, it is. So going a little heavy with the paint. Oh, this is a flower here too. Oops. See, I'm not worried about how that is the blue and the pink overlap there because we're going to outline with black, so that'll be fine. Just going to fill in this little flower right here. And go on to the next one. Oop, dripping, almost dripping. Dry there. Dry there. Looks like we're pretty dry, so that's good. We'll go ahead and start here. You can do it a couple different methods. Like the flower that I first started, I went like this, right? Or you can just go like this. Oh, I think I painted over one of the leaves. That's okay. We can fix that up later. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was just one leaf. Alright. Filling it in, filling it in. Feels so good to put paint on canvas. I really do enjoy it. Okay. There we go. Filling in little spots I might have missed there. I'll let that dry. Well, we let that dry. Let's go in and do our, let's see, what could we do? We could do our white in our base. So I will roll the excess paint off of here. Another thing you can do to not put so much paint down the drain, just kind of wipe off your brush on your paper towel before you even put it in the water. Keeps your water cleaner and less paint going down the drain. Okay. One more time. All right, white. So we've still got some white here. You could leave some of this white because the canvas is white, but I like to have my canvas completely painted. And so I'm going to start right here with this row. Oh, I forgot the pink flower down here. I got some pink in my white too. But that's okay because you know it adds a little bit. It adds a little something, something. I'll finish my white first and then I'll go back and do my pink flower down there. And this row will be white. Art is so good for your mental health. If you can get over the perfectionist idea of making art, it really is a, you know, we give ourselves some grace and enjoy the process more so than worried about having the perfect painting or what have you. It really is a wonderful thing. Okay, white is done there, so again, we'll rub off here, get some off on our paper towel there, and rinse it off here. Back to pink to get that flower that I missed. My white isn't quite dry. Let's see how we do. Okay, that's good. Alright, what's next? Still waiting for that pink to dry. Hardest part is waiting for paint to dry, right? Oh, the colors in this, I love it. And the black, it just pops. This is my favorite. Alright, how about we focus on the leaves. Let's go ahead and start with the leaves. So for the leaves, we're going to use a round as well, but we're going to go with a smaller round. Let's do this. Does this have a number? This is a number 3. A little bit smaller of a round. Let's see how this paintbrush looks. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, dark Hauser green. We're going to start with that. Hauser dark green. Sorry, I always say that wrong. Always say it wrong. Hauser dark green. Okay. That is about gone. All right, so for this, first we're going to do our little lines because they're the furthest away from, I don't think I like this brush. It's got some streaky things in it. This one's, hold please. Nope. I think I need to throw away some of these. Ooh, is that any good? No, that's too good. Okay, I think we're going to roll with I think I like the pink one. It's the right size. Not too big, not too small. Just it's the Goldilocks, right? And get it wet. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay. So we will dip into our dark green, Hauser dark green, load it up on the brush, and we'll start here with this stem. Not enough paint. Get some more. Load it up and come down. Line up this brush. It'll work. All right, we've got one there. We've also got one that goes up here. Should have one more angle on that. And one more over here. Yeah. The more paint you have, the better it comes out, honestly. It's true. That. Don't like this one. Try to fix it. Hopefully not ruin it. Yeah. All right. Now for the leaves are quite fun actually. It's kind of like you make a C and then a backwards C. So here's a little C, right? You see that? Little curve. And then you can make another little backwards C. There you go. And you just fill it in. Like so. Backwards C, frontward C. Got a visitor here with me. Her name is Sadie. She's our dog that we thought was a Chihuahua, and now she's a little fatty. So she's definitely not a Chihuahua. leaf over here. Maybe keep that one a little different dimension there. They can be different, absolutely. Here is a big one. And we'll fill that in. Of course, the harder you push down on your brush, the fatter your line is, right? So you've got, you push down hard like that, or you can go light, right? And lighten up at the tip. Like that. And then push down harder in the middle to fill it in. You want to paint in the way of the leaf, right? Okay, there we go. And over here, thank you. And just enjoying the process of getting the paint on the canvas. So nice to take the time for myself and paint. It's very wet right there, so I'm a little nervous about getting into that pink with the green. But we made it happen. Yep. Do a couple of pink. Yep. And down. Flowers. That leaf there. I think, where did I mess up? I think I needed some more blue in there. Might have to go back on that one. So I'll touch that up in a minute. Alright, we're getting there, we're getting there. Let's see here. I'm going to do, this one looks more dry, so I will do this leaf here. A little painter leaf. I love it. So you don't want to go that way. I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but you don't want to go sideways, right? That's not how a leaf looks. Go like this. Mm-hmm. 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 What else? Anything else? Oh, yes. Up here. I would like this to be pointy. Oh, hmm. Better. And I'm not sure I like that. I think I'll add another one just for funsies. A little one. Okay. One more here. Right on top of everything, huh? Okay. Maybe one little one. There we go. Okay, got our green down here. Is that all of our green? 1, 2, 2. Do I like the placement? Is there anything that you think it's missing? I would like this to have a little, there we go, like that. Maybe this a little bit longer too. A little more of a swoop. Okay, I like it. Now, let's fill in our black here, and then we're going to do our details. So you can see that it's getting kind of color blocky. You got just blue and white, and more blue, pink, green. I mean, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. Oops, wipe that off before we go farther. This is a great beginner painting because it still even looks pretty as it is, you know, but it's going to get even better. All right, let's do our little black. Oh, I forgot. Green, I see. A leaf right here. That happens. Did I forget anything else? I think we did. Leaves and flowers are just so much fun to paint. They're so pretty. And you can do them in any color. Let's get some black on here. Now for the black, I'm going to go back to a little bit smaller. I'm going to go to this. This is a 1/2 inch flat. I'm going to go to that because we are going to fill in this area. And this is going to be a final line, so we want to make sure we get this one pretty good. I think I'll go over it with a thinner brush too to get the edges. I'll follow up with that. Now we're going to go another nice crisp line here. Let's see, I've got a stray bristle there. I'm not liking that stray bristle. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't it start to pop? Okay, now's where I want to get a small brush and fill in the little details there on the sides and whatnot. Oh, you can also, and this one, like I said, it has some stray bristles. I really do need to throw away my bad brushes. We'll leave that in the water because it's bad. A finer brush. I'll get my good brush. And a little angle brush too. I think that's going to be perfect for these. Where's my favorite? Show you one of my favorites. One of my Cinderella brushes. Here it is. This one. I love this size of angle brush. It's probably well, it's a number 4. It says number 4 angle. And let's get that one going. Don't want any water left on the ferrule because it'll drip into the painting. So load up the brush and we will start doing our edges here. So we're going to go here around the leaf and it'll come back up there, down here, and across. Beauty too, if you mess up on anything, say you mess up on something, you just go back over it, wait till it dries, and then go back over it. That's all you gotta do. Okay, filled that in. And now we're going to do the outline of it. So we're just going to come around as steady hand as we can. Come around and blend that side in right there. Do the same thing here. A little black there. A little black here. And I'm going to bring this down right there. Alright, we need a couple, let's see, some white lines in there. Give it a little dimension. I'm going to do this. Okay, that's a detail box. We had the black, so we added it in there a little bit. Alright. Next step is let's do our citron green on the leaves, because the leaves are still a little wet, which is great because you do want a little bit of blending of the colors. It will give a nice multicolored look for that. So for that, we're going to go back to our round. This is a crazy one. Let's do this. We will do this one. This larger round. Too big. I guess I should have had these picked out before. Alright, we'll go with the large round. We'll see how this one looks, okay? So we've got some citron green here. I'm going to put it right next to the dark green because if it's too bright, then I can add some of that to it. So go right here, get some citron green. Let's start with this one. Just go. Oh, that looks great. Just doing a little swoosh on them. Give it some dimension. And here. And get creative with this. Think about where the light would be hitting a leaf. I should have said, I guess we are starting our step 3 with our detail work now. We had our base all colored in. Go. Too bright for me, and this one's a little too something something. This one's not bright enough. There we go. Okay, that's just first layer on the leaves. I think it looks pretty good for now. I think I want to do just a little bit of little dry brushing on the little stem there. We've got some dimension as well. Oh my gosh, I think we just have like a little bit of white to do. Yep, white on our flowers, white on our leaves. I know I see some green I should have done here too. I'm just going to do this. And it's still wet with the black. Okay, I'm doing a no-no. It's too wet. I shouldn't have been in there like that. But I did. So far, so good. Okay. Next step, let's move on to our white. And for this one, we are going to use a smaller round like that. This one should be fine. Like that. A small round. It's probably a 3. Alright, let's get some more white on our tray. That's not tainted with the pink there. Some white. We'll start. So for this layer on the flower, we're going to start in the middle, and we're just going to kind of do some roundabout swooshes, and they get fatter as you go out, so you press harder as you go out. Okay, so you start light on the inside, and then fatter, fatter, fatter as you go out. Now what you want to do also with your flowers is you want to start with the one that's in the background the most, and then that forward one will be the one that you'll want on top. So this one is pretty much background. There we go. Let's do this one. I got kind of peeking up there, and this one I'm going to have peeking up that way. Okay. Just be loose and free with this, because again, we've got other layers we're going to be adding, and it just keeps getting better as we go along, doesn't it? Let's do this one. And this one. Okay, so our white is done there. Let's put a couple white streaks in our black. And it's okay if they mix a little bit on this one. And you get that gray look. It's not a big deal at all. Okay, we got a couple down. We got one right here. We'll put one up here. And we've got a highlight over here. I'm afraid this one might blend in too. I'll wait on that, because if we pull it down here where it's wet, the gray is going to go down. And I want a solid white line there, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to clean off my brush, make sure there's no black on there. I'm going to dip right back into the white, and now I'm going to focus on the leaves with the white. So we're just going to do like just one thin little streak on them. Okay, just here and there. Don't put a lot of thought into it. Just put it where you think it will be. Just whatever feels good, honestly. Some can have 1, some can have 2. There we go. Alright, you see how it's popping and coming together? We ain't even done yet. We've got a couple more things to do. We're going to put some white in here, and we're just going to kind of go back and forth like this. Like that. Just kind of a dry brush. There we go. I like it. Okay. Next, we are going to use, it's called a hog bristle brush. If I can find mine. Brush, where are you? And it's a little drier, it's thicker. You can also use a, what do you call them? Oh gosh, a chip brush. Chip brush. You can use a chip brush as well. So I guess we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go into the tourmaline. No, that'll be our final step. Let's go into more black. So for the black, what we're going to do is we're going to outline our leaves and then do our flowers. And this is really one of the beautiful pops of colors too. So we'll use the same brush here for outlining. It's a nice, pretty thin brush, as you can see. It makes pretty thin lines. So now, this is really a messy process. So again, don't be too particular, but you're going to just go around like that. Grab some more. The messier, the better, honest to goodness. And then you're going to go inside a little bit as well. Trying not to get in the white where it's already. And, really pop them. You see the differences on the flowers? So we'll go here. And I'm trying to find the lines here. We'll connect that one. And this one's pretty solid. And then again, in the background, just kind of, I know they're all over the place. I'll go with what I like, what I'm feeling. What do you think? Hmm? Now we'll go in with some of these. And there's Sadie, letting me know she got into the trash can. Oh, love this painting, one of my favorites. Not only is it fun, but it looks great. Hi, Sadie. Oh, can you see Sadie? You probably cannot see Sadie. Sadie's here bugging. It's dinner time. She just wants to be a lap dog. Don't make the pen, Sadie. This is where getting creative is a ton of fun. Okay, I like it. I like it. I love it. Now our leaves. Are you ready to do our leaves, Sadie? Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Don't bump me, because if you bump me, then I'll mess up. But then what do we do if we mess up? We just let it dry, right? Right. Okay. So don't. that. Just have fun with it. Don't. You hear somebody barking, Sadie? Okay. And that one kind of got funky. Usually when I try to fix something, it doesn't look as good. There we go. Oh gosh, come on. This is adorable. Now, what's happening is that there's too much paint on my brush. It's too loaded up in the belly of the bristles, and so I need to clean it out. I'm going to wipe, just twist it kind of on here like that, and wipe it off on my paper a little bit so that it's not so full, because they're getting a little thicker than I like. The lines are. So, there we go. That's much better. You just got to kind of, you know, unload your brush a little bit. Okay. This leaf, I love this leaf. Big fat leaf. This one. Yikes. And is that all of our leaves? I think so. Love it. Okay. What are we missing? 2 white lines, a little blue in the center of the flowers, and then our tourmaline, and that is it, you guys. That's it. All right, cleaning that off. For the tourmaline, we'll use one of those little 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. Maybe the one we just used for the black. Remember, get that ferrule nice and dry. You don't want it dripping. So cute. All right. Next, what we will do is get the tourmaline right here. We'll put that next to our pink. It's a similar color. It's so pretty. It's so shiny. And we're just going to have at it again in the here. Just putting some sparkles in there in our flowers. Oops, I kind of blended there. I should have waited. It's not dry yet. And I dipped into the black, so not so much of a big deal if you dip into the white, but the black, you're going to get a different color. Okay. So just being thoughtful of that around the black. Oh, black here. Okay. How are we doing? You got your pink on there, your nice shiny tourmaline. And you can use any color you want. I mean, these flowers could be any color. One more right there. Yes, I like that. Okay. We got that one down there. Looks good. I think the white, just a couple dots of white here and there. Add a little bit of interest to the painting. For the dots of white, what I'm going to do, I like to do, is use the back of my brush, the end of the brush right here, and we just dip it in the white like that, and you put a couple dots here and there. Wherever you see fit. Nature likes things in threes. There we go. And how about we do our white line in our black. Now it looks like it's pretty dry. Yep. So we can go with our white on that one. Get back in the white right here. And load it up pretty good because you want a nice solid line, and it's going to go right here. Just like that. And then a little one right over here. There we go. Alright. What else? Last but not least, oh, black line on her table to delineate the table from the background. So we'll get our black again here. Got some water on my ferrule. Let me get it off. Black. Just a simple line, as straight as you can go. I'm not real good on my straight lines, but that's okay because when it all comes together, it just looks great. Oh, blue. Get some teal on our flowers. Let's do big teal drops. Last step, you guys, last step. Dip your paint and dip your paintbrush in the teal, and we're going to put 1 to 3 dots in the middle of our pink flowers. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5, whatever you feel. There we go. Ooh. Okay, that's it. We are done. I hope you took time for yourself and enjoyed painting this. What's nice is that you can always stop and rewind and you know, pick up where you left off. I'd love to see what you guys made. If you use different colors, your type of painting style, I'd love to see all of that. You can go around and do the outside. One thing, okay, I guess it's just never done, but one thing which looks really cool is you get this like little brush look on the edges to finish it off. And you just lightly drag it on the edges there, and that gives it a nice finished look. And then you can go back and just paint. These you can either do like blocks of black and white like that, which is a kind of cool, fun look. You see that? There we go. You can do the blocks. Or you can paint the whole thing black. But that's kind of fun, funky, a look to the frame, and it really gives it a nice finished look. Okay, with that said, I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed painting with me, and come on back and see you next one. Bye.